Clarence, the author of this letter, is just another random soldier who has been writing and receiving letters from his significant other, who is back in the States. Clarence was stationed out in Sicily, part of Operation Husky, which began on July 9th, where both naval and airborne land troops invaded Sicily. A joint assault to retake the island from Axis control, mainly from the support of British and American troops. This specific letter was written on August 5th, 1943, about 4 weeks into the operation that would end only 12 days later. Clarence says in his letter, "Well, we can now say in our letters that we are in Sicily," which leads us to think that the Americans were afraid of letters being stolen and read by the Axis forces to learn of anything important like operation and invasion plans. When this letter was written, we can see that his superiors must have given him and his fellow soldiers the okay to write about where they were because the Axis forces now knew about the invasion and that the American positioning couldn't have been spoiled. In this letter, Clarence writes about how Sicily is a poor country. While he hasn't seen many of the towns, the roads he has traveled on are only lined with rocks. He also notes how Sicily has an abundance of grape, almond, and lemon trees. Even with all the grape trees, there is no wine, he continues to write about, which only angers the other soldiers who need a way to relieve their stress of the war through getting drunk. His sentences are brief and to the point, many of which are fragment sentences. This shows us that he probably doesn't have much time to write, and he just wants to let his wife or girlfriend know that he is okay and is thinking of her. "We haven't had much time for ourselves lately, just work. I reckon it shouldn't be too long, though, before we're able to have a few spare moments to call our own," he writes, which only further proves that he most likely has been fighting and moving forward through Sicily every day. Only a few spare moments to himself to rest up. Clarence spends a good portion of the letter talking about how he misses her. He states how he is unfortunate enough to miss her birthday, but is thankful for the pictures she sent him of herself, as well as mentioning that the mail service will only get worse the further into the island he goes, and how he just received a handful of letters from her, but it has been a month since the last letter he got from her. The tone of the paper is sad, as if he doesn't think he'll return home, and he says about seeing her again, "But reckon I'll only be able to see you in my dreams," which gives us the assumption that he expects to die out in Sicily. But unbeknownst to him, he will only be fighting there for 12 days until victory. On July 24th, only a week or so before this letter was written, Prime Minister Benito Mussolini was arrested and replaced by Marshal Pietro Badoglio under a new government. The next few weeks would be spent fighting the last of the remaining German troops who refused to give up on Sicily.